Last night was the first United Conservative Party debate. It was a good one. It was held in Medicine Hat. Unfortunately, they had all sorts of technical issues. I'm just going to give my interpretation of what happened with it. So, starting, the best line from the first UCP leaders debate actually came after the event was over. It was from Todd Lowen, and he said, the UCP asked for $1,050,000 in leadership fees, of which apparently very little was spent on a stable internet connection. I mean, the debate was live streamed, but it was constantly cutting out for extended periods. The terrible broadcast was the first newsmaking part of the event, and it didn't reflect very well on party management. Leadership contenders, I mean, they were forced to pony up $175,000 each to take part in the race. The least they could have hoped for is a solid streaming broadcast for an official leadership event. Unfortunately, they were to be disappointed. Now let's get to it. Every candidate got a short opening statement. Almost all of them used those moments to take shots at Danielle Smith. This isn't unexpected. I mean, a perceived front runner is always going to take the most flack in these events. And Danielle used her opening to clarify her stance on cancer prevention, as she knew it was going to be coming up, and it certainly did. It is during the body of the debate, though, where the candidates trying to pull down Smith really blew it. With 7 candidates in the race, it's tough for contenders to stand out in the crowd in a debate. Organizers tried to model a format where each candidate got to respond to one issue in question. Then they could choose another candidate to debate with them on that issue, and they get 4 more minutes. It was a way to encourage one-on-one debates rather than having 7 voices shouting over each other or taking half an hour per subject because, if you go through 7 people, it's just not going to work. So, Rajan Sawhney was asked about the environment. She used the moment to attack Danielle Smith on her proposed Sovereignty Act. And then Sawhney this is the interesting part, chose Smith as the one to debate for the next 4 minutes. Later on, Rebecca Schulz got her moment, and she got a question on how Alberta could stand up to Ottawa. Schulz spoke on how she was able to work collaboratively with Justin Trudeau's government on the daycare policy that was implemented within Alberta. And then she as well chose Smith as the one to debate for the next 4 minutes. Now, Danielle Smith is arguably the most skilled orator in the entire field of candidates. She has decades of media and political experience. She relished every moment she could take the microphone. And for the first half of the debate, she was on deck for 80% of the show because the candidates kept pulling her into the mix. Sawhney came across as rather weak and spent most of the entirety of the debate trying to find ways to take shots at Smith. Smith was unruffled and just kept taking advantage of the opportunities Sawhney gave her to expand further on points of her platform that were considered contentious. Schulz, though, she made the worst strategic mistake of all when she gave Smith 4 minutes to debate on provincial-federal relations. Schulz was a cabinet minister in a party establishment that lost the support of its members, much of it due to their inaction in dealing with Ottawa. The issue is the weakest spot for Schulz and the strongest spot for Smith. It was the worst choice to debate Smith on this. Smith mopped the floor with Schulz as she took advantage of the chance to expand further on her Sovereignty Act, while Schulz was on the defensive for her own government's inaction. Smith was tossed a softball by Schulz, and she must have been thrilled with the gift. Subsequent candidates, I think, realized the error in putting questions to Smith, and they finally started choosing others, such as Sawhney, as their debate opponents, but it was too late. Smith owned the first half of the debate, and due to the crappy feed, the debate had probably lost half its viewers by the second half anyways. And Brian Jean took a strong stance in saying we need constitutional change and that Canada's broken. But of course, that requires a crisis as a catalyst, and it plays right into Smith's proposed Sovereignty Act. In her closing statement, Smith addressed every other candidate and complimented them on their stances rather than speaking about herself. She finished the night appearing to be on the high road, while a flustered pack of competing candidates made little impression upon the viewers. Smith didn't run away with the debate. The candidates challenging Smith gave it to her. There are still months left in the campaign, and there's going to be other debates, including the one held by the Western Standard on August 9th. The candidates playing catch-up with Smith still have time to change tactics and try to draw the interest of the members. So far, though, they've been nothing but reactive, and Smith is taking off with things. While all of them say Smith's proposed Sovereignty Act isn't feasible, none of them are presenting feasible alternatives to dealing with Ottawa, aside from doing more of the same. That already failed. Members are sick and tired of strongly worded letters and panels that do nothing but talk about issues. A Sovereignty Act might fail for Albertans, but the current course of action from the UCP is guaranteed to fail. We know that. Establishment politicians and media members are aghast at Smith's momentum, and they're shooting at her from all sides, but it's not working. She's found a populist niche, and she's effectively filling it. If the contenders for the UCP race can't propose effective alternatives to Smith's plan, she's going to walk away with this race this fall.